The rain hammered down like it wanted to drown me. I stood there on the curb, my suitcase soaked through, water streaming down my face, mixing with tears. I couldn't hold back anymore. 22 years old, and my life was over. Just hours earlier, the bailiff had changed the locks on the small house my late mother left me after her long illness. "I'm sorry, Lily," he said, not really meaning it. Foreclosure. It all started 6 months ago. My best friend from high school, Mia, told me about this amazing opportunity called Dream Builders. "It's not a pyramid scheme," she promised, eyes shining. "It's network marketing. People are getting rich quick." I was desperate. Mom's medical bills had wiped us out, and I needed to honor her memory by building a secure future. So I poured in my entire savings, $15,000, and even took a second mortgage on the house. I recruited a few friends, dreaming of financial freedom. The recruiter, a smooth-talking man named Marcus, made it sound so perfect on our late-night calls. Invest a little, help a few. Watch your life change. Then the complaints started. Products never shipped. Payments stopped. The company collapsed overnight. Marcus vanished with the money. I was left with $45,000 in debt. Debt collectors called day and night. The house, my last piece of home, was gone. Family? What little I had left said I brought it on myself. Friends I recruited stopped answering. Now I was homeless, suitcase in hand, no shelter, no plan. Just the cold rain and the hollow ache in my chest. How could one opportunity destroy everything? I dragged my suitcase down the dark street, wondering if this was the end. The weeks that followed were a nightmare of shelters that smelled of bleach and despair, park benches that left my back aching, and the back seat of my old car when I could still afford gas. I was hungry all the time, cold to the bone, and filled with a shame that ate me alive. Every night I asked myself the same questions. Was I stupid? Greedy? Just a desperate girl trying to survive? The city lights blurred through my tears as I scrolled job ads on a dying phone battery. No one wanted to hire someone with no address. One freezing night in the public library, charging my phone and trying to stay warm, I stumbled across a government auction site. Fixer. Upper Victorian in rural Maplewood. Starting bid, $1. Must commit to basic repairs or face demolition. $1. It sounded insane. But the photos showed a solid 2-story house with tall windows and a wide porch, even if the paint was peeling and the yard was overgrown. It was 2 hours away by bus. In my desperation, it felt like a sign from above, or maybe from Mom. With my last $200 from odd jobs and selling whatever I could carry, I placed the bid and won. The transfer fees brought the total to about $1,500. Scraped together with help from a kind woman at the shelter who believed my story. 2 days later, I was on a rattling bus, suitcase between my knees, heart pounding. What choice did I have? Streets weren't sustainable. This $1 house was my last shot at a roof over my head, even if it was falling apart. When I arrived, the house looked worse in person. Vines strangled the porch rails, windows were boarded, and the air inside hit me with a thick, musty smell of damp wood and forgotten years. The front door creaked like it was complaining as I pushed it open. Dust floated in the thin beams of my flashlight. I dropped my suitcase on the warped floorboards and cried tears of pure relief right there. For the first time in weeks, I had walls. They might be crumbling, but they were mine. Life in the $1 house was brutal but gave me purpose. I spent my days scrubbing black mold from bathroom tiles until my hands bled, patching roof leaks with plastic sheeting and duct tape I bought cheap at the hardware store, and sweeping away years of dirt. The silence was broken only by the wind howling through cracked windows and occasional strange creaks that made me freeze. At night I'd lie awake on my thin sleeping bag, flashlight beside me, wondering if I'd made another terrible mistake. In the second week, while clearing out the dusty attic, I found a locked metal box hidden behind old insulation. My heart raced as I pried it open. Inside were stacks of glossy Dream Builders pamphlets, the exact same ones Marcus had sent me. Business cards with his face and phone number. Newspaper clippings about the scheme's collapse and how the founder had disappeared. This house had belonged to someone connected to the scam? The discovery sent chills down my spine. I kept digging, A hidden panel in the study revealed files, long lists of victims, including names I recognized from my own downline, receipts for expensive cars and watches, but also handwritten notes about hiding assets from authorities. The house smelled stronger now, like old paper and buried secrets. One evening, while patching a hole in the basement wall, my hammer hit a hollow spot. I tapped again. Definitely hollow. With trembling hands, I peeled back the drywall and found a small, rusted safe bolted into the studs. I couldn't open it yet, but the weight of the discovery kept me awake for hours. Slowly, the house started to feel less like a stranger's ruin and more like a home. I painted the living room a soft cream with bargain paint from the thrift store, planted a tiny vegetable garden out back for food, and nailed boards over the worst drafts. Every creak and shadow still made my skin crawl, but purpose kept the fear at bay. The more I fixed, the more clues appeared. A journal page with entries about guilt. I never meant for it to hurt people like her. Who was Marcus? Really? Why was his life hidden inside my $1 house? The suspense grew with every new discovery, pulling me deeper into the mystery. One stormy night, the power flickered out as I finally pried the safe open with a crowbar and determination. Inside, neat bundles of cash, not millions, but enough to breathe again, old hard drives, and a thick manila envelope, addressed simply to the next owner. My hands shook so badly I almost dropped the letter. It wasn't just connected. Marcus Hale was my father, the man who walked out when I was 5, the one Mom never spoke of except to say he was troubled. He had started Dream Builders years after abandoning us, chasing quick money so he could one day return as a hero. But it spiraled out of control. He knew about Mom's illness. He had quietly watched from afar as I got recruited. He'd even used a slightly different name online so I wouldn't recognize him. When the scheme collapsed, he bought this house anonymously, with what money remained, and deliberately set the $1 sale, hoping the algorithm or fate would lead a victim here. Hoping it would lead me here. The hard drives held recordings and documents that could take down the bigger criminals who had forced his hand. And in the letter, written in his shaky handwriting, "If you're reading this, Lily, I'm so sorry. I was the scammer, but I was trapped too. This house and what's left inside are for you. I can't undo the pain, but maybe I can give you a new start." A final note said he had passed away quietly 3 months earlier. I sat there in the dark, flashlight trembling, tears pouring down my face as thunder rolled outside. The man who destroyed my life had left me the keys to rebuild it. With the evidence, I contacted authorities and helped shut down parts of the network, winning small restitution for victims including me. I finished fixing the $1 house completely. It became a beautiful, warm home with fresh paint and blooming flowers out front. More importantly, I found closure. I forgave the father I never really knew. And I forgave myself for trusting the wrong people. I wasn't just a victim anymore. I turned my deepest betrayal into a second chance. Now, whenever the wind blows through the trees outside, I hear not fear, but a quiet whisper of hope. If you're out there feeling hopeless after a scam, after losing everything, remember, sometimes the darkest houses hold the brightest lights. What would you do if you bought a $1 house with secrets like these? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for listening.